What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? I hope everybody's having a great day. Today is Friday. Today is Friday. I hope y'all had a great week. I had a great week. I hope that you had a great week. If it was anything that you was pushing to get done, get accomplished, I hope that you got it done. If you didn't get it done, don't worry about it because you will get it done. Okay. Let me just check a few things out. I want to make sure that I'm live over on all of these platforms. I just want to check and make sure that I'm live. For everybody doing good today, though, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful day, and we are chilling. I don't think I'm live on Instagram, but it's okay. We ain't gonna worry about it. I don't think I'm live on Twitter either. Let me just hit that go live button now. Well, it don't worry. It don't matter. We ain't gonna worry about it. All right. So listen. Today, what I wanted to do was I want to break down a few things today. All right. Got my chat pulled up. I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna dive into some of this information. Let me close some of these tabs so we don't run into no issues as far as. Let me see. I'm gonna close this. Let's close these real quick. All right, cool. We should be all right. I'm gonna close that too. Let's close that. All right, I think we good. We good. All right, so listen. So I'm gonna be teaching some things within the next few months. I'm gonna be coming in here breaking down a few things, teaching a few things. Today, what I wanted to talk about was pertaining to credit. Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about credit. I'm only going to touch on a little bit. I'm not going to dive too far into this, but I am gonna give you some real good information, give you some real good insights so that you will know exactly what's going on. So let me share my screen real quick so I can show you how things happen uh, with credit. Okay, let me just show you how things go, right? So I'm gonna share this screen. All right, now let's jump over here. All right, let me blow this up a little bit so that y'all can see it. I want to make sure y'all able to see this, okay? All right, cool. So the way that things work, right? So if you look at a credit report, right? When you're looking at a credit report, um, in order for something to get on the credit report or go to a credit report, right? The first thing is an inquiry, right? So that means that this person went to a certain either financial institution or they went to some type of store and they inquired about getting something from them, whether it was a line of credit, whether it was a credit card, whether it was a line of credit on a furniture account. It was an inquiry. Okay, so a lot of times when you see inquiries on a file, that means that that person went and applied for something. Okay, that means they went and applied for something. So you have a few different types of inquiry. You got a soft inquiry and you got a hard inquiry. A soft inquiry is only when you're um, checking your score. You know, it's only when you're checking your score. So it don't affect the score. Okay, it don't affect the score. A hard inquiry is when you actually apply for something to get something. Now that could affect the score, and I'm gonna break down the algorithm with y'all in a minute, right? Because inquiries make up 10% of your score. So in that 10%, you're getting 55 points. If you didn't have any inquiries on the file at all, you'll probably be getting that whole 10%. So you'll probably be getting that whole 55 points. All right. Now, what typically happens sometimes is you make the inquiry. So let's just say, for instance, you get approved for it. Okay. So now, once you get approved for whatever it is that you was applying for, whether it was a revolving account or an installment, okay. And I'm gonna break down the difference from a revolving account and an installment in a minute. I'm gonna break the difference down on that. All right. So now, once you get approved for that, um, once you get approved for that, that trade line will show up on your credit file. Okay. It's going to show up on your credit file. Now, once it shows up on your credit file, it's going to show a breakdown, right? Now, how do things and so let me, matter of fact, let me pull this real quick. Let me get this. Okay, because I want to show y'all how it'll show up on the credit profile. Let me show y'all this real quick. Let's go back here. Let me just grab something real quick. I'm gonna just grab an account so that you can see the details. All right. Let me see. I want one reporting on all three. All right, we'll take this one right here. All right, let me go ahead and screenshot that. Let me get that. Okay. I want to get this right here. Okay. Should block that out, but it's okay. So we're gonna do this here. All right, let me grab that because I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna show y'all this right because I want y'all to see this. So let's add this. Let me move, and I'm over here moving some things around because I don't want no personal information to get out there from the screenshot that I'm grabbing. So I'm just moving some things around real quick, and I am adding a few things over here. Let me see. Okay, I want to blow this up. I want to blow this up. Bring that down. And let me go ahead and cover this up. I just want to cover the account up so that won't nobody be able to see um, this. Okay. So y'all bear with me because it's some real good information. So y'all bear with me because you finna learn something today. Okay. You're gonna learn something today. Y'all know I'm big on teaching, so I want to make sure that I teach you guys this good stuff. Okay. So let's grab all that. We're gonna copy. Now I'm gonna come back over here where we at. And then I'm gonna add this page and I'm going to paste what I just grabbed here. And then let me go ahead and blow this up. Let me bring this down and then I'm gonna blow this up. All right, so what I was telling you guys, right? A trade line, okay? So when we talk about a trade line, um, you got a few different types of trade lines. Most of the times when people hear the word trade line, they thinking about an authorized user trade line, right? Um, but a trade line is anything that's reporting to the actual account. So when we look at this line right here, this is a trade line. Now, this is a trade line from First Premier. All right. And this trade line is reporting on TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. All right. Now, when you look at the actual account, you got different fields that's in this account, right? You got different fields. So you got the account number, you got the highest balance, you got the last date that it was verified, the date of the last activity, you got the date that it was reporting, you got the date it was open, right? And all of this stuff is going to make sense, right? All of this stuff is going to come together because I really want to teach y'all a lot of this stuff, right? You got the balance owed, you got the date it was closed, uh, you got the account description, you got the dispute status, you got the creditor type, right? Meaning it's a bank. You got the account status, whether it's open or closed. You got payment status. So right now this one is in charge off status. You got remarks. You got the original creditor. So if it was sold to a third party, usually they'll put the original creditor here. You got the last payment date. You got the term length. That's if it's an installment. You got the past due amount. You got the account type, which is a credit card, so it's considered a revolving account. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that as well. Then you have the payment frequency, and you have the credit limit. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I could jump back over here so I could break that down to you, so I could explain to you, right? Let's go back over here. So what we're talking about is once you apply for a um once you inquire, right, you're either going to get approved or you're not going to get approved. Regardless if you get approved or if you don't get approved, you still going to have that inquiry on your file. And remember, inquiries make up 10% of your score. So in that 10%, you're getting 55 points. Now, how do things go left? right? How do things go left? All right, that brings us to late payments. The way things go left, right? You might get a 30-day late, you might get um um a 60-day late, you get a 90-day late, then you get a 120-day late. Now, I've seen some accounts go 150 days late reporting before they charged off, but most of the times after 120 days late, it's going to go into a charge off status. All right. So it's going to go into a charge off status. So 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, 120 days late. After 120 days late, that account would probably go into a charge off status. Now, once that account go into a charge off status, the original creditor have one or two decisions to make. They either going to keep control of this account and still try to collect from the consumer, or they'll take that account and sell it to a third party, which would now convert it from a charge off to a collection. All right. So this is how people get charge offs and collections on their file. Okay. It starts with an inquiry, and then from the inquiry, you either get approved or you don't get approved. But when you get approved, it opens up a trade line, right? That account shows up on your credit profile, right? Everything is going good, meaning that you're paying on time, everything is good, then you things go left, right? 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late, 120 days late. After 120 days late, it's in charge off. Once it's in charge off, the original creditor got one or two decisions to make. They either going to keep control of the account and try to collect from the consumer, or they'll sell the account to a third party. Now it turns into a collection. All right. Now, payment history makes up 35% of your score. So in that 35%, you're getting 192.5 points. Now you'll get the bulk, and this is the whole formula. Yeah, like when I tell you this, right? It's a science. So when you understand the science of what's actually creating the score, then you will really know how to move a lot more. You know, a lot of people just see these scores, right? They just see these scores. But when I look at the score, I see the science. And this is what I teach. I teach the science because when you know the science, the scores don't look so bad. So, right, if I'm looking at a score, it's under or under 600, I know that this person probably don't have a revolving account. Utilization makes up 30% of your score. So in that 30%, you're getting 165 points. In order for you to get the 165 points or any of the 165 points, you have to have an active revolving account on your file, right? You either got to have a line of credit or you got to have a credit card. All right. Now, and we're going to break this down, y'all. So y'all bear with me. You know, we're going to break this down. All right. So let's go. We're going to jump over here real quick. Let's jump over here. Now, when we looking at a credit report, right? When we looking at a credit report, um, the first section for you to understand how the credit report looks, right? You got your personal information. Uh-oh, close that. You got your personal information. So it's going to have your name, um, different aliases. And let me talk about aliases real quick, right? The way that data uh, comes on your credit profile is typos or human errors. So if somebody, let's just, for instance, you went to a place and you applying for something, or somebody running your credit, and let's just say they typed your name wrong, right? If they type your, once they put your social security number in, it's gonna pull up your file. Okay. Well, whatever they put in there after that, after they locate you with your social, then any data that they type in is now going to pull over on your credit file, right? So if you at a store and somebody applying for a card, and you or you applying for a card, and the person that's on the register that's putting the information in, and they put in, let's just say for instance your name is Terrence, spelt with one R, but that person spells Terrence with two R's, that name is now going to attach to your profile, right? And so this is how you get different aliases. right? So if you look at so what I tell people all the time, like when you check your report, make sure that you remove all the aliases that's connected to your report, because sometimes when you got charge-offs, collections, and things like that, sometimes they only attach to you based on that alias or based on that name that person had a typo. So it's always good to make sure that you clean up all of your personal information. All right. Now, addresses, right? Get those old addresses removed off your file. You got to, right? Because sometimes if you got a collection account, a charge off or anything, it could be only associated with your credit report based on the address. So if you get that address removed, and then when you go into your dispute process as far as getting this account removed off your file, and you got that address that was attached to that account removed already, then you got a stronger chance at that thing coming off your file. Okay. So any old addresses, and a lot of times, right, when you look at addresses, let's just talk about it from the eyes of an underwriter. If I'm an underwriter and I'm looking at this credit profile to determine whether I'm gonna do business with this person or not, right? If I'm an underwriter and I'm looking at this credit profile and I see all of these addresses, right? I see so many addresses. Guess what? I'm gonna assume that this person is probably not stable, right? I'm gonna assume that this person may not be stable because they have so many addresses, right? So take those old addresses off, because for one, an underwriter could be looking at the credit profile, feeling like you unstable and make a sound decision based on that alone, or that old address could be attached to something that's negative on your file. And when you go into the dispute process, as far as getting this thing off the file, it's no longer associated with the file because you already removed that address. Okay, so you want to make sure you take that address off the file. All right, now let's jump back in here. All right. Um, Now you have employers. I'm always big on taking employers off the file. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want no employers' names on my credit file. Okay. Because sometimes you might not want your left hand to know what your right hand doing. So I'm big on taking employer's name off the credit file. Then you have your summary, right? And your summary is going to be the total amount of accounts you got, basically just giving you a summary of what your credit profile looks like. So it's going to tell you the number of accounts you have. It's going to tell you the number of accounts you got open. It's going to tell you the number of accounts that you got closed, delinquent, derogatory. Now, delinquent is accounts that's considered late. You might have late payments on that account. All right. Um, Derogatory accounts is usually accounts that have late payments attached to them or some type of negative. I'm sorry, delinquent accounts is accounts that might have some type of late payments. Derogatory is accounts that could possibly be charged off or in collection status on the credit profile. Then you're going to see your balances, your revolving balances. You'll see your payments, and then you'll see your inquiries. So the summary is basically just showing you a summary of what we're about to look at within your credit profile. All right. Now, after you come through your summary, now you have your installment accounts. Okay. Well, let's go back up here. You got your revolving accounts. So, revolving accounts is a credit card or a line of credit, right? It's revolving. Remember, if you don't have a revolving account on your file, you're missing that 30%, because 30% of your score is created from a revolving account, which is utilization, right? 30% of your score is created from utilization. That's 165 points. Okay. In order for you to even tap into that 165 points or tap into that 30%, you have to have some type of active revolving account on your file, whether it's a credit card or whether it's a line of credit. Now, the key to revolving accounts is this: um to get the bulk of that 165 points, you want to make sure you keep your utilization between 1 and 6%. All right, you want to make sure you keep it between 1 and 6%. That's how you're going to get the bulk of the 165 points. All right, you're going to keep it between 1 and 6%. Now, the higher your utilization go, the least of the 165 points you're getting. So if you ever notice, when your utilization continue to rise, 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 your score continue to go down, 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 down. Because the more utilization you using, the least of the 165 points you're getting from the 30%. All right. To get the bulk of the 165 points from the 30%, you want to keep your utilization between 1 and 6%. All right. Now, the next one is um, so always remember the 10% rule, okay? The 10% rule. So I know if I got a $2,500 credit card, 10% of 2,500 is 250. And if I know I need to be between 1 and 6%, then I know I need to be well under $250 on this card. Okay? So always remember the 10% rule. If you're not good at math, just remember the 10% rule. Okay? Because 10% is easy for you to remember. Okay, so like if I got a $750 limit, 10% of 750 is 75. So if I need to be between 1 and 6%, I need to make sure that I'm well under $75. All right. It matters because, like I said, utilization makes up 30% of your score. So in that 30%, you're getting 165 points. To get the bulk of the 165 points, you want to make sure that your utilization is between 1 and 6%. All right. Now, after we come through revolving accounts, the next thing we have is installment accounts. All right. Installment accounts do not affect the score, they only affect the DTI. And DTI means debt to income ratio. Okay. DTI means debt to income ratio. All right. So so what that means, and what I tell all my people is this, right? If I ask somebody, I say, hey, what's your goal? After you get your situation back where you need to be, what's your goal? You know, they say, Joe, well, I want a house and I want a car. Okay. Well, listen, let me come off camera. Let me come on camera for this, y'all. Let me come on camera for this. Listen, if your goal is to get a house and a car, get the house first. Don't move backwards. Get the car, then go get the house. I'm going to tell you why, right? When you get the car, it's going to increase your DTI, which is your debt to income ratio. So when you go get the house, they're gonna count that auto debt in your income, and you're gonna get approved for less of a house, right? So get the house first, okay? Now after you get the house, then go get the car, okay? Listen to me, do it. I'm gonna tell you a story. I remember I was working with I was mentoring and teaching back in 2017, I believe. It was either 2016 or 2017. This is when I was really deep in the teaching, right? I was traveling and teaching. Um, I had a young lady that I was teaching and I started working with her and I got her score up. You know what I'm saying? Her score jumped, her score went up. She called me. At the time when she called me, I was in DC because I was at the CBA, which is the Credit Builders Alliance. That's in DC. So I was in DC for a week and she called me and I said, hello, this is Joe. She said, hey, Mr. Martin. I said, hey, I'm gonna just call her Rebecca, right? I said, hey, Rebecca, what's going on? She said, Mr. Martin, I got a praise report. I got a praise report. I was like, what's up? She said, Mr. Martin, I went and got myself a Jeep and I went and got my husband a Ram with zero down. We just went straight off the lot with what we had, you know. And I was like, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I said, congratulations, right? Now, I this is when I made it my religion to ask people what their goal was. This is the day that I made this my religion, right? One of my religions, right? So I was happy for her because I know when I started working with her, I knew her car broke down and I knew that she was having some problems with her vehicle. She was having problems with just getting her family around. So I knew that. So when she called me and told me that, I was happy for her, you know. So it ain't even been because I was only in DC a week. Okay. I was only in DC a week. It was probably about 2 or 3 days later she called me back, right? She called me back and she said, Mr. Martin, I got a praise report. So I was like, okay, what's up? Talk to me. She was like, well, my daughter birthday coming up. You know, my daughter birthday coming up, and I went ahead and took her to the car lot, and I was able to get her a car with zero down. So now, y'all, listen, man, I'm feeling a little concerned. Well, I'm feeling concerned because now I'm looking at all of this auto debt, right? I'm looking at so much auto debt that this lady is getting, right? So I had to say, you know what? Let me ask you a question. I said, what's your next goal? What's your next goal? And she was like, well, Mr. Martin, at the beginning of the year, I want to get a house. I felt so bad, right? I felt so bad because what she did was, although her score went where it was supposed to go, based on doing what we were supposed to do, she went and accumulated all of this auto debt. Okay, she got a brand new Ram truck. She got a brand new Jeep. She got her daughter, I don't even know what kind of car it was, but it was a brand new car. So she got three cars. Let's just say, for instance, if these three cars are 40,000 each, right? That's 40, 80, 120. That's 120,000 in auto debt, right? So now 120,000 in auto debt. So now when you go apply for that house and they look at your DTI, which is a debt to income ratio, meaning based on what you make compared to what you got, the debt that's out there, it's going to be tough for her to get a house, right? It's going to be tough for her to get a house. So she probably won't even qualify for a house because of the amount of debt that she have. All right. So I'm telling y'all this, get the house before you get the car. Okay, get the house before you get the car, bottom line. Okay, and that's what DTI is. All right, that's what DTI is. So let's jump back over here now. Installment loans don't affect the score, it only affects the DTI. All right, installment loans only affect the DTI. Now revolving accounts affect the score because, like I said, revolving accounts is utilization. So utilization makes up 30% of the score. So in that 30%, you're getting 165 points. To get the bulk of that 165 points, you want to make sure your utilization stay between 1 and 6% utilized. All right. Now let's go to this next page. Let's see what we got over here. All right, right here. Last but not least, we have collections. And then we got public records. Now, public records usually is going to be like it may be a tax lien, it may be a bankruptcy, things like that, right? This is what public records will fall. Now, and there's a way to get bankruptcies off the credit profile as well, um, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, right? We're going to talk about how things come off the file and how you go about doing it. All right, we're going to talk about that. So now the collection accounts basically is sold to a third party. So at the end of the day, in order for anything to report on your credit profile, they have to have three things. Okay, it got to have three things. It got to be 100% accurate, it got to be 100% complete, and it got to be 100% verifiable. So if you did business with an original creditor, then the it was that's between you and them. Okay, that's between you and them. Let's just say that situation going to a charge off, that situation going to a collection situation, you know, um, you did business with the original creditor. So when they sell it to a third party, you have no that you ain't got nothing to do with their relationship because your relationship was with the original creditor. Okay. So now, the beautiful thing about America is this, right? The beautiful thing about America is a country that's based on laws. It's built on laws. So um, if right, let's just say for instance, um, let's say I'm fighting a case, right? And I'm not a lawyer, right? But I study the same doctrine that lawyers study, right? So I've helped a lot of people beat a lot of cases in court because I study the same type of doctrine that attorneys study. And I've been doing this for years, right? I've been studying case laws. I study so many consumer laws. I study case laws. I study a lot of these things because it's just what I like, right? Every day I'm in my office. I got some type of trial on TV, looking at just the court system, looking at how things work. I just always been infatuated with studying law. I just never went to college and I never took the bar. So I tell all my people, I say, listen, I can't represent you in court, but I can direct you on what you need to do if you ever fall into a situation where you got to go to court. You know, if it's something out of my hands, then what I do is I got a lot of attorney friends that I'll just probably say, hey, call such and such. They can help you, you know. But me personally, I study a lot, right? So what I want to do real quick is I'm going to show you guys, right? Let me add this back to the screen. Okay, so we just really broke down the credit report, right? And if you're tuning in late, make sure you go back and look at it because it was some good information there, right? So let's fast forward, right? Let's fast forward. I'm gonna jump over here and I'm going to share this tab, and I'm not gonna dive all the way into this, I'm not gonna go all the way into this right here, but I want to make sure I make this video real juicy. I want to make sure we get some good information in here because I got an appointment coming up at 1. So I figured I'd just jump in here real quick and go over some things and break some things down with you guys while I'm here, since I'm on YouTube as well. So what's up, YouTube universe? What's up, Facebook? What's up, LinkedIn? Twitter didn't post, so I'm gonna have to go repost Twitter. It's okay. But what's up, everybody? I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on a couple of my Facebook pages, and I'm on YouTube. So what's up, y'all? All right. So I'm just gonna dive through here, right? We ain't gonna need really like ain't no format to what I'm doing today, right? Ain't no format to what I'm doing. I'm just really teaching y'all based on what I know, right? And when I teach y'all, I ain't teaching on no speculation. I'm teaching on what I know. Okay. Now, what I be telling people all the time is this, right? Um, First thing, right? Business owners, because I build systems for a lot of businesses. And business owners, what I always tell them is optimize your personal credit profile first. And once you optimize your personal credit profile, you're gonna put it up, right? You need to put it in the garage, put a car cover over it, keep it in the garage. Because the only time you're gonna operate and use the personal credit is when you operating on your business, right? So, and what I mean by that is once you build your business on a fundable foundation, you're gonna build your business on a fundable foundation. And what I mean by fundable foundation is basically you want to really make sure in anything that you build, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a house, whether it's your business, regardless of anything that you build, it got to be built and structured on a foundation, a solid foundation. So when we talk about the business, right, we need to make sure that your business is structured on a solid foundation. Now, the first thing that as you can see on here, the first thing I got is address. All right. The reason why I got address right here first is because it goes back to when we was talking about the personal credit, right? If a underwriter is looking at the credit profile, whether it's the personal file or the business file, and they see multiple addresses everywhere, it's a red flag. So you got to understand that. Let me come over here so I can tell you this, right? Let me tell you this. Let me come over here so I can tell you this. In banking, it's always about risk. It's always about risk. Either a person is going to be high risk or a person is going to be low risk. Either a business is going to be high risk or a business is going to be low risk. The reason why we optimize and make changes and do things the right way is so that we can lower the risk. Because once we lower the risk, we know that our chances to get whatever it is that we're going to get will be higher, right? Because we lowered the risk, right? So make sure always keep that in your mind. Lower the risk, lower the risk, lower the risk. So anything, I don't care how big it is or I don't care how small it is, if it will lower the risk, do it. Okay. So we got to make sure we do that. Now, let's jump back over here, right? So I got addresses. So make sure that your address is the same everywhere. Don't never use no PO box, right? Because a PO box is a red flag. That means like if somebody come to me and they trying to get some type of funding from me or they trying to get something from me, right? And they got a PO box. That means this ain't your actual address. This ain't where you live. So what's gonna help me be comfortable with giving you 50,000 if you don't even have a solid place that you live or that you work out of? I'm not gonna give it to you. It's not gonna go. We can't do nothing about it. All right. So that's it. Now, you want to make sure your address is everywhere. Anywhere that you put your business name, you got to make sure you got the same address everywhere. All right. Now, next thing we got is the NAICS code. This is the industry code, right? You got high risk industries. Okay. You got some industries that's out there that's going to be high risk. That means it's going to be an automatic decline on some of them, right? Based on the industry. Okay. So some people they don't do their due diligence, they don't do their research to find out which industry they should go with. They don't do none of that. Okay. Do your due diligence. Get with a person like me. Get with some type of mentor. Get with a coach. Get with somebody that knows this information so that you don't find yourself in a place where you like, damn, I can't do nothing. You know. Then you got some high risk industries that's not an automatic decline, but it is subject to a stricter underwriting guideline, meaning that the underwriter is going to look at that file a little bit deeper before they say yay or nay. Okay. Now, get you a real business phone number, right? Don't use your cell phones unless you got a voice over IP, right? Um, unless you got it, so you want to make sure that you get you a real business phone, okay? Get you a website because that underwriter gonna want to go see if you are really out there, right? They want to see if you really out there. Do you got a real business? Is he doing real business? They want to see that, right? And a lot of my colleagues, we bump heads right here, right? We bump heads right here. And the reason we bump heads right here on email, I tell all my folks, listen, take that Gmail off the back, take that Yahoo off the back, take that Hotmail off the back. If your company is called Red Cap or whatever, your email don't need to be redcap at gmail.com or redcap at yahoo.com. That ain't what your email need to be. If your company is called Redcap, your email need to be business at Redcap, info at Redcap, support at Redcap, Joe at Redcap, something like that. But keep it professional. Don't get that Gmail off your email. Okay, get all of that off of there, right? Because if you don't, you might run into a situation where somebody might consider you high risk, so take that off. All right. And we want to make sure we do that. Now, um, then we run into your EIN, right? The reason, a lot of people will do this first, but don't do that first, right? Because when you go to the secretary, I'm sorry. When you go to irs.gov to get your EIN number, regardless of whatever name of the business you put in there, is going to go, right? It's gonna go. They're gonna give you an EIN for it, right? But once you get that EIN, then you go to the Secretary of State to register it. What if that name is not available? Or what if somebody else have a name close to that name? You know, and now you didn't went and got an EIN for something and you can't even register it with the Secretary of State. So just do your Secretary of State first. Wait for that to come through. And then once that come through, then go ahead and get your EIN number with the same address, right? And then go ahead and get your Dun and Bradstreet number with the same address. Then go ahead and start opening up your bank accounts and establishing your vendor accounts through your tiers. Okay. This is how we make a full bulletproof foundation for the business. All right. And I'm going to say this, right? Once you got everything structured the right way, meaning like you got everything optimized, looking good the right way. Let's say you go in this bank and this bank give you a $15,000 line of credit and they give you a $15,000 credit card. That's 30,000 on business, right? From one bank. Now multiply that by open up 5 bank accounts. Don't open up just one. I talk to so many people. I say, man, how many bank accounts you got open for your business? They say, Joe, I only got one. Man, go open up 4 more. Right? Now, once you go open up these 4 more bank accounts, and let's just say you got a 30 piece from all of them, That's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. You just got access to 150,000 on credit on a business, right? Not counting the vendor accounts, not counting the little credit cards, other credit cards. Now you stacking with your business and you protecting the liability of the person because we put this in the garage. The only time we pull this out is when we need to be a strong personal guarantor for this business. All right. Now, I kind of went off, like I told y'all today. I really didn't have no format for this, right? I didn't have no format for this, so I just wanted to really jump in here and just talk today, right? Because I'm shifting over to this coaching and mentoring and teaching, right? Um, so I told all my folks that I'm not doing no credit repair no more. Okay, I'm done with that. I done did it for almost 15, 16 years. I'm done with credit repair. So only thing I'm doing now is I'm teaching people how to do it. I'm giving them the tools, I'm giving them the resources to get it done. And if you don't have time to get it done, then yeah, I still got a whole team. I still got a team, a staff that we don't mind doing the process for you. Okay. Y'all understand. I hope y'all understand that, right? If you don't have time to work this system um and do the things that you need to do to get yourself where you need to be, I have a team that will get it done for you. All right. And we'll just check, so it's so many, but when you schedule with me or when you come to one of my classes, I'll break down everything to you so you will know exactly how we do what we do. Because honestly, I'm so focused on building these systems for businesses. So I work with a lot of business owners. So once I build a system, I always make sure I tell the business owner the importance of making sure that they got their business credit structured, their personal credit structured, so that when they do get to the point where they're going to get working capital for the business, they're in a good position. You know, so yeah. All right. Now let's jump back over here real quick. Let's jump back over here because I think I'm about to probably jump. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Hold on. Let me see where I want to go. All right. Let's see. Just so y'all know, right? Um, every 18 months I travel with FICO. Okay. Every 18 months I travel with FICO. So um years ago when I set out to understand everything about credit so that I could make sure that I do exactly what I need to do for my people. I wanted to make the right relationships. I wanted to build the right relationships. And I wanted to be in the right circle of people. Right. So years ago, I friended this Ethan right here, this Dave, this Julie. So I friended a lot of people in FICO. Right. So every 18 months, I travel with FICO and we learn more. Um, every, I think, 12 to 15 months. So every year to year and a half, something like that I travel with CBA, and the CBA is the Credit Builders Alliance out of Washington D.C. FICO, we be all over the country. We done been to Vegas, we've been to Miami, so it's all over the place. It just depends on where they want to have that convention at. But travel with FICO to get the information to bring back to my community, bring back to my people, bring back to my team. Um, Shout out to Wallow. Okay, a lot of y'all might know Wallow. You may not know Wallow. Wallow and Gilly has a podcast called $1 million Worth of Game. This is when Wallow first came home. He just did 20 years and he came home. So shout out to Wallow. When he came home, I was able to go out to Philly and politic with Wallow, politic with Greg Parker. You know, because it's all about relationships. Relationships is everything. Okay. Now, who would this be for? Right? Who would this be for? This is for new business owners. This is for Airbnb hosts. This is for truck companies. This is for entrepreneurs. This is for real estate investors. This is for people that's in stocks. This is for e-commerce. This is for clothing brands. This is for car rental business owners. It's for 9 to 5 employees looking to start a new business. It's pretty much for anybody, right? Um, I teach technology, right? Um, I want to make sure that I'm a firm believer in we must teach what is taught. You know, you got a lot of people in the world that they learn stuff and they hoarder it. They just keep it to themselves. You know, I've never been that type of person. I didn't talk to people and they didn't said, Joe, thank you. I learned from you in 1 hour what I paid people thousands of dollars to learn, you know. So I just teach, you know. Now, with that being said, I got 20 minutes to this appointment. I got a 1 o'clock appointment coming up. So I got 20 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump off of here, right? I'm gonna jump off of here and I'm hoping that you reach out. Now, let me put this up real quick. So if you are, let's see, let me go find this real quick. Let's see if we got it. Um, First and foremost, I want you to tell me this, like what type of business do you have? You know, tell me what type of business you have. And I want you to text. I'm gonna put this up. I should have had this up already. Um, let's see, I should have had this up. Let me see, y'all. I should have had this up. All right, let's do this. We're gonna add this banner. There we go. There you go, y'all. I wish I could slow it down, but text that number. If you want to schedule something with me, go ahead, text that number 321-985-6102. Text that number. Comment below. Tell me what type of business do you have. You know, I really want to know. I'm big on helping business owners get over that hump and keep going further and further because this is what we do. You know, we're going to be on this Big Brother podcast a little bit more. We're going to be talking a lot more in the near future. We're going to be talking a lot more. So I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. And like I said, I'm here to help. So if y'all need help with anything, let me know and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. We out.